gouty node, gouty node, gouty node, gouty node, governable, 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 governance, 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 governess, 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 anti-Semitism, 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 governing body, governing body, governing body, governing body, governing, 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 government bond, government bond, government bond, government bond, government enterprise, government enterprise, government enterprise, government enterprise, government house, government house, government house, government house, government loan, government loan, government loan, government loan, government office, government office, government office, government office, government official, government official, government official, government official, government owned, government owned, government owned, government owned, anti-aircraft gun, anti-aircraft gun, anti-aircraft gun, anti-aircraft gun, government representatives, government representatives, government representatives, government representatives, government securities, government securities, government securities, government securities, government stocks, government stocks, government stocks, government stocks, governmental, 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 governor general, governor general, governor general, governor general, governorship, 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 goy, 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 anti-aircraft, 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 grabber, 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 grabble, 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 graben, 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 gracefulness, 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 graceless, 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 gracelessness, 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 gracile, 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 antibiotic, 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 grad, 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 gradation, 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 grade A, grade A, grade A, grade A, grade crossing, grade crossing, grade crossing, grade crossing, grade school, grade school, grade school, grade school, antibody, 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 grader, 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 gradient, 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 gradual, 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 gradually, 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 graduate of secondary school, graduate of secondary school, graduate of secondary school, graduate of secondary school, graduate of the university, graduate of the university, graduate of the university, graduate of the university, graduated tax, graduated tax, graduated tax, graduated tax, graduation, 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 graffiti, 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 grafter, 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 grafting knife, grafting knife, grafting knife, grafting knife, grafting, 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 grain alcohol, grain alcohol, grain alcohol, grain alcohol, grain bin, grain bin, grain bin, grain bin, grain dealer, grain dealer, grain dealer, grain dealer, grain drill, grain drill, grain drill, grain drill, grain elevator, grain elevator, grain elevator, grain elevator, grain size, grain size, grain size, grain size, grained, 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 gram calorie, gram calorie, gram calorie, gram calorie, gram, 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 gram atom, gram atom, gram atom, gram atom, gram equivalent, gram equivalent, gram equivalent, gram equivalent, gram molecular weight, gram molecular weight, gram molecular weight, gram molecular weight, anticathode, 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 gram molecule, gram molecule, gram molecule, gram molecule, gram negative, gram negative, gram negative, gram negative, gram positive, gram positive, gram positive, gram positive, gramercy, 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 gramineous, 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 graminivorous, 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 grammar school, grammar school, grammar school, grammar school, grammatical analysis, grammatical analysis, grammatical analysis, grammatical analysis, anti-claw, 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 grammatical morpheme, grammatical morpheme, grammatical morpheme, grammatical morpheme, grammatical, 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 grammaticality, 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 grammaticalization, 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 grammatically, 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 gram, 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 gramophone, 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 grampus, 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 gran, 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 anti-Christian, 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 Grand Duke, Grand Duke, Grand Duke, Grand Duke, grand piano, grand piano, grand piano, grand piano, grand total, grand total, grand total, grand total, grand vizier, grand vizier, grand vizier, grand vizier, grandam, 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 grandaunt, 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 grandchild, 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 granddad, 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 granddaughter, 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 grandeur, 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 grandfather, 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 grandiloquence, 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 grandiloquent, 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 grandma, 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 grandmother, 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 grandnephew, 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 grandness, 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 grandniece, 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 grandpa, 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 grandparent, 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 grandson, 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 grandstand, 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 grange, 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 graniferous, 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 granite, 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 granitic, 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 anticipatory, 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 granivorous, 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 granny, 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 grant in aid, grant in aid, grant in aid, grant in aid, grantor, 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 granular, 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 granulate, 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 granulated refined sugar, granulated refined sugar, granulated refined sugar, granulated refined sugar, granulated sugar, granulated sugar, granulated sugar, granulated sugar, granulation, 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 granulator, 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 granule, 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 granulite, 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 granulocyte, 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 granulocyte,